the Medici.
Giovanni Popolano.
Please like this video so that more people have access to this content. Enjoy and also follow this channel to see other videos about art.
Giovanni, born 1467, died 1498. Giovanni, the second son of Pierfrancesco the Elder, is said to have been one of the handsomest and most accomplished of the Florentines of his day. He was 11 years old at the time of the Pazzi conspiracy, and all his youth was passed in the midst of the splendour of the rule of Lorenzo the Magnificent. And when he was 19, he was engaged to the latter's daughter Maria, who, however, died before the marriage took place. When Lorenzo the Magnificent died in 1492, Giovanni was 25, and in the following year we find him visiting the court of Mantua in great style at the baptism of Isabella d'Este's daughter. After the leading part, which he and his brother Lorenzo took in the banishment of the elder branch of the family, Giovanni took service with the King of France and was given by Charles VIII a post with an annual salary of 2,000 crowns. But this did not last long, as in 1496 he was appointed by the Florentine Republic as their ambassador to Catherine Sforza, the masterful Countess of Forli. At Forli, Giovanni soon made himself highly popular, and after a short time the Countess of Forli, whose political position made it almost imperative that she should marry again, showed so much admiration for her handsome and accomplished Florentine envoy that some began to say that she intended to marry him. Nevertheless, it was thought by most to be very unlikely that so great a personage would marry one so much beneath her in rank, and only a simple citizen. It was true that under Lorenzo the Magnificent the family had attained a great position, but with his death and the exile of the elder branch of the Medici, all their importance had passed away. The future Pope Leo X was at that time merely a wandering member of a banished family, and all the subsequent developments of that family were undreamt of. However, eventually Giovanni's various attractions prevailed, and in 1497, to the disgust of both Milan and Venice, Catherine Sforza, Countess of Forli and Imola, married Giovanni de Medici, called in Florence Giovanni Popolano. He was then 30 and she 35. It was by far the most exalted marriage which any member of the Medici family had up to that time made. Giovanni had much fondness for art, and being both accomplished and wealthy, was able to gratify his artistic tastes to the utmost. The sack of the Medici Palace in 1494 had filled Florence with art treasures, which those who had plundered them were anxious to sell, and Giovanni was able by this means to adorn his villa of Castello with many of the treasures of art which had belonged to the elder branch. Among other artists, he patronized in particular Botticelli and Filippino Lippi. We have seen how in 1496 the latter painted for him one of his finest pictures, his Adoration of the Magi, now in the Uffizi Gallery, and the anonymous writer who is quoted by the Anonimo Gadiano tells us that Botticelli painted for Giovanni in his villa of Castello various beautiful pictures. We do not know what these were, but the language used by the writer in question seems to imply that they were frescoes. Giovanni only survived his marriage a little more than a year. In 1498 he accompanied his stepson Ottaviano Riario to Pisa as his guardian and guide, in commanding a body of troops. He got ill at Pisa, and becoming no better, proceeded to the baths of San Pietro in Bagno. There he grew worse, and died on the 14th of September 1498, at the age of 31, his wife Catherine only arriving a few hours before he died. Their only child was a boy, born 5 months before his father's death, afterwards the celebrated Giovanni delle Bande Nere.
We hope you enjoyed this video. Please let us know in the comments what other art contents you would like to see. And don't forget to like this video and follow our channel. Thank you, and until the next video.